Hello, and welcome to What Happens in This House Stays in This House Strength Over Silence podcast. I'm your host, Tammy Montgomery, Dozie A. And guys, I'm so excited today. You know, tax season is coming up, and we want to learn about different things about ourselves. The brother I have on here, we are about to get deep. Y'all going to hear stuff you probably never heard of before. I am so excited to announce Mr. John Byrd. How are you today, sir?
I am excellent. How are you, Tammy?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while. You know, we were co-workers once upon a time, so it's so good to see people doing great things. Because sometimes you get caught up in a job, you're thinking you're going to be there forever, and you just never know what, I'm going to say, the Creator God, whatever you believe, has for you. So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and your passions.
Okay, well, my name is John Byrd. I'm a regional vice president of a financial marketing firm. And basically, what I like to do is I help people earn more income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. And how I kind of got started on this path was, as you mentioned, we was co-workers at AT&T. So, I would start working at AT&T fresh out of college, and they kind of, promised me all this upward mobility, or you get this college, did this, and management this. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to corporate America. This is going to happen for me, right? And no, it just didn't quite happen like that, right? The thing is, when you're growing up, you hear this mantra: go to school, get a good education, so you can find a good job, right?
Yes.
Well, the good job just never existed for me. So let me just talk about a couple of things why. One thing, I had the skin disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knew that was going to stop me from going up, right? And you know how that was in our department. All kind of other nationalities come in and go out, and we've been there for a long time, know each other for years.
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
And I wasn't a yes man. I just scratched where it didn't itch. I wasn't like that. So the upward mobility just didn't work. Corporate America, they got some things to hold you back. I don't know if you heard of this term called the glass ceiling.
Yes.
You heard of that before?
Yes, I have.
So that means there's a barrier there that won't allow you to go up. It's clear. I don't know it's there, but my employers do. That doesn't sound very fair, right? But what made me really have a revelation that I need to go out and do something else other than working for that company was this. Well, a couple of revelations happened in a row. One, I reached what we call top pay. And top pay means that you're never, ever, ever, ever gonna make any more money.
That's very true.
So that's one problem, you're not gonna make any more money. But here's the second problem, Tammy. You really make less and less every year. What do I mean by that? Well, they got this word in life called inflation, where things get more and more expensive every year. Remember, we were shorties $1. You could buy a big old bag of candy, a juice, a pickle, some cookies, and have some change left over.
Good luck with that now. Right. Right.
So if my income is not changing, but life is getting more and more expensive every year, in essence, I make less and less every year.
Let me ask you this though. So when you were at AT&T, is this something that you always knew, or did you gradually learn what it is that you're speaking on right now?
No, I didn't know. I didn't have that financial education coming up like that. I had no idea. Okay. Until, mentor. I had a mentor, and he kind of schooled me to that. He kept saying, man, you need to do this, do that, or get some extra income because this is not going to be enough. And so I was telling him, nah, I'm be here at AT&T. I got this upward mobility. I got this going on. I'm about to get in this junior management program and all that. He said, John, look, go get the organizational chart of AT&T, and I want you to bring it to me. He said, show me the position you're going for. He said, look, how many faces look like yours on this chart? And it was a couple.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so you're talented, but some other people talented like you are. He said, what's the odds? And so when he taught me how money works, because I didn't know how money works, so he kind of gave me that. I mean, he never really told me things. He just asked me a bunch of questions, and I came to my own understanding. You know what I mean? So that was one of the questions he asked. He said, about the income not changing. And then another thing he asked, he said, John, in life, you get wealthy, rich, two different things, well off, middle class, poor, and broke. He said, what would you like to be? I said, well, if that's how I like to be rich. He said, okay, well, let's talk about it. He said, wealthy, rich, and well off, they all own businesses. Middle class, poor, and broke all have jobs. What you gonna do? I said, and I guess the way I was looking, he was like, you don't believe me? He said, okay, let me ask you another question. He said, do you know anybody with a wage paying job that's wealthy? I said, I do not. He said, do you know about anybody with a wage paying job that's rich? I said, I do not. He said, do you know anybody with a wage paying job that's well off? And I said, yeah, a couple. He said, but how many are your direct friends or you just know of them? I said, I know of them. He said, I know it's, I look on the internet and all that. He said, see what I'm saying? He said, but how many people you know with a wage paying job that's middle class, poor, and broke? I said, everybody. He said, there you are. And I'm not shunning having employment by no means at all. I mean, I had some good stuff going on at AT&T, but now that I'm a financial professional, I look back. When I first left college, I was still living with my mom. I was making 50 grand at AT&T. You know what I was doing with my money?
What was that?
Blowing and squandering. I was the man. I was the man around town. You know what I mean? And if I could have took the extra money or the discretionary income and invested, I would be a millionaire right now, cash.
And then back then, being young, working there, you thought you were like, man, we making this kind of money, being this young. You really thought you were really doing something back then. So let me ask you this.
I ain't knowing about money. So here's the thing, and we're gonna get into this a little later about income brackets, right? And he taught me of this as well. He said, listen, you got to know what money is in the global sense and a national sense, not in your neighborhood sense. He said, middle class start at 100,000 pretty much. So you're asset poor if you make between $0 and $60,000 a year, 67 somewhere. You call asset poor, and so it's like, okay. The reason why I felt like that because my friends, family, and associates they always making 50, 40,000. So I felt I was doing something. So it's the law of relativity. If I take a baseball and put it next to a marble, that baseball is humongous. If I take that same exact baseball, put it next to a basketball, not so big anymore. So you can be a big fish in a little pond and have an illusion that you're doing well and you're not.
So what do you think this mentality, like now tax season is coming up, and how often do you think that we invest? Or do you think we just go out and squander and buy things that we don't need? With you being in the finance industry, what have you seen?
With that tax situation, I'm glad that you asked that, because if you ask 10 people that 5, hey, what exactly did you do with your taxes in the last 5 years, and where is that stuff? They're like, I don't know. I don't know where it is, right? Yeah. But I know people need to do things with their money that they gave the government an interest-free loan over the year, and they got it back. Right. Right. But I know they got to do things with that money. But if an average person took that money and then invested it, right? So let me ask you this, Tammy, what you think the average tax return is for an average person making around 50 grand a year? Maybe, marry 1 or 2 kids. I mean, an average person, what you think?
You're talking about with child income credit and all of that?
All of that.
Between 3,000 and 5,000, I would probably say.
3,000 and 5,000. So let's say 5,000. And if you took, now let's go in the middle, 4,000. Okay. So half of that is $2,000. If you took, I'm pulling out my financial calculator here. If you invested $2,000 just once a year over your working career, which is a 40-year career, just at a 9% interest, and I like to under promise and over deliver, you have $800,000 cash.
Wow.
In the bank, if you just took half of your tax return and invested it in the mutual fund.
Wow, nice. So let me ask you this. So when you talk to people and you talk about investing, what do they say to you? Is it one of those things where I can't afford it, or what is it? Because you can take
That's what most people
$25
say.
a month and then do something with it. So that's my question.
Well, most people do think where they say, I don't have enough to do it, but they do. Um, it's a big thing. A lot of people also are scared of the market. They might say, well, I don't want to lose my money. It's a lot of just erroneous things that they discuss because it's more of a lack of knowledge type of thing. And financial education can fix all of that, right? And so what people don't understand about investing in the market is the power of compound interest. Now, compound interest is like fire, though. It can warm your house and cook your food, do something well for you, or it can burn you and kill you. So compound interest is, Albert Einstein said, is the most powerful force in the universe. So if you take advantage of it, you can really do something well. So let me ask you this. You remember when you was 25 years old, like yesterday, am I right?
Yeah, okay. No, not like yesterday. That was a long, but I can remember something.
Now, when you were working, I mean, you were working at 25 years old. You had a job, right?
Yes, definitely.
And looking back on it, you had $2,200 to spend or to spare or to invest in yourself in your future. You had the $200.
Yeah, oh, definitely I did. Yeah.
If you would invest $200 from age 25 to your retirement at 65, you would have had just at a 9% interest, $950,000, almost $1 million.
Nice. Nice.
So
Now
we
let me
have the money to prosper. We just don't know what to do with it because it's not the money that you make; it's the money you keep and what you do with it. That's to make all the difference in the world.
So I think that we probably live in a society where we just want everything instant and we just want all this stuff. Do you think, is there a disparity between other cultures than African Americans when it comes to that, where we spend money? So what is the disparity?
Big difference.
Okay.
It's such a multifaceted problem. We might have to have two different, several podcasts, maybe a series of podcasts to get to the root of the African American problem, whether it be financially or whatever. But when you understand people's lack of education analysis, something they're going to automatically fear. You fear what you don't know, right? You can even be going somewhere in your own city that you've never been before, a town you've never been before, you feel a little fearful.
Yes.
Right? And so when people don't know about money, they're fearful. They don't know about investing, they're fearful, right? But like I said, most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And so this is because of the talk around our dinner table is not there. Financial services and investments not talked around our dinner table, right? And also we don't have financial coaches to show us in schools what to do with the money, okay? And so we tend to do the wrong things with it. Now, as far as African Americans is concerned, so I'm gonna discuss a couple of problems that's off the top of my head. One, the slavery issue. That done such a big number on us, right? And so we have a lot of emotional issues. And then we do a lot of emotional spending.
Oh, definitely.
Even the younger generation. I might not be nothing, but guess what? I got $100 pair of sneakers on my feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so those type of things, the flash, my worth is on my back opposed to inside of who I am, things of that nature. So it's just a real bad thing. Even during the civil rights movement, right? If we didn't have the proper, as far as I'm concerned, economic exit strategy, gain access to the stores, it don't mean we need to spend our money there per se. Especially if you only want me there, you don't want my money there either. I got to have some pride about myself and the pride about my money.
Right.
And so when that happened, when we didn't have those stores to go into, we had our own stores. We had our own mom and pop stores. We had our own some hotels. We had our own stuff. And so if we would have kept pouring dollars there, we would have had the Hiltons today. We would have the Shells today. We would have all of these things today. But now we took the money out and started spending it elsewhere, and all of those other businesses are suffering because of that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you do have those instances like in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they bombed our stores, or Rosewood. So I think some of it too is that we did have those people doing that, but then they couldn't recoup from that. you know? So
Yeah,
when we,
it's terrible. In this, and the thing is that's not a happenstance society against another portion of society. It was the government also helping those individuals attack Tulsa and bomb Tulsa and do stuff like that. And so it's hard to thrive when you got a lot of enemies holding you back.
that is very true. Do you still think that today all of that still resides in us? I know you mentioned something about how we felt. Do you think that, I guess it's like a two-part, do you think that we would ever get over that part? Or do you think that it takes people like you and other people to try to get us from point A to point B and get a different outlook and outtake on money?
No, we can't. It's just knowledge is power. Well, knowledge plus action is power. And so we definitely can do that. That's not a question. You know what I mean? You heard the term when you know better, you what?
You do
You
better.
do better. And I think the vast majority of people want to do better.
Oh,
Right?
definitely.
So in my line of work, I introduce certain financial concepts to people. Some people say, great, thank you. Let me run on. And then some people like, they're skeptical. They're always, you know, we got the mentality, and that's another form of slavery where we don't trust each other in business.
Oh, definitely.
They'd rather
Yes.
go to another nationality to do business than their own people. And they have proven, some nationalities have proven time and time again that they're not for you and they're not going to do you right. But we got that, it's a terrible mentality where it's always like this. If you have good service, you tell a few people. If you have bad service, you tell 10.
Yes.
Well, and if you go to a black business and don't get good service, you're telling 100 people about the bad service. But you can't tell me you haven't received bad service from a non-black business and you didn't badmouth it like that. You didn't tell 100 people. You didn't get on Facebook. You didn't do all of those things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get good service, are you passing it around? You know what I mean? So that kind of goes into another statistic that I have as far as how we spend our dollar. I'm going to pull this up really quick about how often the dollar circulates in our community.
Okay.
All right. So let me bring this up really quick. And this is kind of scary stuff I'm about to share with you right now.
Okay.
Okay. So it says the dollar, the lifespan of a dollar in the Asian community is 28 days. In the Jewish community is 19 days.
Mm-hmm.
In the Black community is 6 hours.
Wow. Really?
6
Wow.
hours. So, and that goes back to Black ownership. So, and Black owned businesses only get 2% of the Black consumers' dollar.
That is something.
Right? It's just crazy, man. So it's like Black business can thrive, and we just put 10% more of our money in Black businesses. That would create 1 million jobs for African Americans on average.
Definitely. So I know you have definitions for wealth and generational wealth. Mm-hmm. And let's get into a little bit into that and classes of money. So what's the difference between wealth, generational wealth, and the class of money?
Okay, so let's kind of go into that a little bit. So what I want to go into first is just the different classes of wealth, right?
Okay.
Your working class again is an asset pool 0 to 65,000. So let's find out the percentages of who in the working class. 40%, 42% of whites are in that class, 72% of Blacks, and 72% of Latinos are in that class. When it comes to middle class, right? Middle class, that is 18% white, 15% Black, 14% Latino. That's where it's kind of get average. I'm going to talk about that in a second, why that's an illusion. But then on the wealthy side, and this is start at 200,000-300,000 and up, you get whites at 39%, where Black is 12% and Latinos is 13%. Well, the thing is this, and this is why you want to understand this, and I would send you this article where you can put it out to your listeners. But there was an article written, it's called The Road to Zero Wealth, how the racial wealth divide is hollowing out America's middle class. So there are actually, the thing is, middle class is going to be eliminated.
So you're either going to be
it's
rich
gonna
or poor. Is that's what you're
It's gonna be
saying?
rich or poor. Rich or poor. I mean, here's the question. The existing middle class, which side of the coin you think they're going to be on?
They're going to be on the poor side.
Now, they don't have to be. It's some things that you can do financially to prevent that, but that's what it is, right? And so now, when it comes to generational wealth, it's money that's passed down. You know, just like in the hip hop community, Beyonce, she said, "My great grandchildren are already rich. They're not even here yet. They're already rich." That's generational wealth. I mean, if you can't pass down anything, you know, we have the ability to do it, but we just don't have the instruction manual. I'll give out the instruction manual to people how they can have generational wealth. And a lot of times people think, I mean, it's a lot of different ways you can get generational wealth, but I'm gonna tell you the one main way and the easiest way to get generational wealth, and this how other nationalities have done it, is through life insurance. Okay. See, life insurance is guaranteed wealth. Why? There's only a couple of things you can guarantee in life. Like my grandma used to say, she used to say, stay black and die, right? Well, stay black, Michael Jackson proved that ain't got to be the case. So, but one thing you can prove is definitely you're going to die.
Definitely,
you're going to die. So most nationalities say, okay, bam, what we're going to do, if they're just starting out to getting information from other people, boom, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put $1 million on mom and dad. And the siblings going to split the bill. Because they're the ones going to receive the money anyway.
Right.
And mom can contribute, mom and dad can contribute as well. And when mom and dad die, they're going to guarantee get $1 million. And now they split that money. Now they can move to different areas, different school systems, invest in different businesses and do that. We can do the same thing. But unfortunately, through lack of financial education, we end up getting the wrong type of life insurance and things like that, right? And you might wonder, well, how do we end up getting the wrong type of life insurance? Because most ethnic people are very tribal. Mama had it, mama had it, mama had it, right? Well, mama, we can get some wisdom from her, but maybe not financial advice. She may not have graduated from high school. You know what I mean? And so she got duped on the financial product. And most people in our age range, middle class, middle age and up, we know what we need. We might not know what kind. And so people prey on that financial ignorance, just like they had predatory lending and with the mortgages, they got predatory insurances, predatory investment, predatory everything, because they prey on people's lack of knowledge and give them any old thing. They give them something that may pay the agent the most money to do more for their family than your family. And so what I teach people, financial education, so they can make the proper decisions and they can get the right type of life insurance and investments to prosper.
I know I used to work in insurance. I actually used to sell, Gerber Life. And the one thing that I noticed when I was there is that they come in the door buying life insurance for their kids when they're babies, as well as investing in their children's education, because they have this thing where you can invest in for college as well. Every now and then I would see like our people in there, but for some reason we don't believe. They always say, well, I don't want to get life insurance because I'm saying that my kid is going to die on their child. It's like, that's just a part of life. You just never know. So do you find that as well?
Yeah, lack of education and tribal myths, it's the same thing, death is a topic nobody wants to talk about really, and so they shun away from it. They want to think about mama dying and all that, but hey, it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's something that's a necessity to be discussed prior to mom and dad passing. Yeah. So with my financial education that I teach people how to have a will and a trust. And we're going to have all the economic talk about where the money is going to go and how it's going to be split and assets. When I get to the children, when I'm alive, So there's nobody fighting at your funeral. We already talked about it. Hey, Billy, you getting this. When mama call you always come. James, you only getting this. When mama call you never come.
Right.
Or you getting this, or hey, y'all good, y'all got good jobs and all that. We're gonna give y'all some cash, but we're gonna give Sally the house because Sally got 5 kids, she got a decent job, but she gonna get the house and y'all get whatever the case. I'm explaining to you what I'm doing now. If you got something to say it to mom and daddy right now. And then it's done. We talked about it.
But a lot of it too. What's so crazy? I've known people that lived in luxurious houses, and in the end, when somebody passed, they didn't have life insurance. So then it's starting to, you having GoFundMe's and you're asking everybody, why do you think that? I know you said education, but why are we so resistant about life insurance? And then it's a GoFundMe for, you're leaving a person behind to take care of your stuff that you didn't take care of.
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One reason is the predatory insurance game. There was a financial product that was created specifically to set the money up the Black and brown communities, right? And that's cash value whole life, universal life, variable life. That's the worst financial vehicle you can get for insurance. It's the most expensive insurance for the least amount of coverage. Now, so you say, well, why would somebody want that? Well, they get duped because they don't have financial education. One, they say, well, it's the whole life. When you think of that word, you think until I die, but that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so the best philosophy for the vast majority of people, I'm not saying 100% of everybody, but for the vast majority of people, what you want to do is get the most coverage for the least amount of money. Because when you're young, when you go through a financial life cycle, right, from beginning to end, when you're first starting your family off, your kids are young, you owe everybody named mama, everything is on rent, borrow, credit, assignment, right? The house ain't paid off, cars ain't paid off, everything, and the loss of income of one of the breadwinners will be financially devastating because one income can keep up with two has created. So if you just have regular insurance for death and burial, that's not going to do anything for you. See, as people, minority people, we misuse everything, right? We use a butter knife for a screwdriver. You know how we do it, right? So we use life insurance just for the death and the burial when that's not what it's for.
It's for
the
everything.
For life insurance is life. It's for the living, and not for the person who passed away.
Yes.
So what you want is an income replacement plan. This is what I provide my clients with an income replacement plan, where if daddy dies, his income is still alive. So whatever daddy was making every month is still coming in every month, although he's not here anymore. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that with whole life, right? So, but when you get a bunch of, you guys go through a financial needs analysis, which we do complimentaries. Most companies charge $1,500 to do it. We're going to figure out what's specifically good for you and your family. And then once we come up with the plan, God forbid if something happened to one of your the breadwinners, we're going to take that money and then we're going to invest it in a Roth IRA or a mutual fund or what have you. And then with the dividends and interest alone, we'll replace the person's income. It's very simple. This is nothing new. It's just not been discussed in our communities.
So I was listening to you when you were speaking, you were talking about 42%, I think, of the people you say were as, it was 42%. Was it wealthy? Which one was it? I know you said, or was it the middle class?
In the wealth class?
Yeah.
Let me pull those stats back up.
So would you say that most of those people are entrepreneurs, or what would you say? It's on the Caucasian side.
I would say that.
So yes, what is a taboo of being an entrepreneur? Because I know when I was coming up, and I think we talked about this before, that I was just told, go to school, get your college education, get a job. But you're not taught a lot about having your own, being your own boss. Okay.
Well, so let me start here. When you say, well, why do African Americans suffer financially, right? One, they lack a financial education. This is not to talk around identity. They had no financial coaching life like myself, so I can show them and school them what to do with their money. They had no outside the job financial portfolio. Most average working people, all of their life insurance is on the job. They don't have nothing outside, right? Life insurance on the job is not enough. They're gonna give you your salary plus half, if that, and then you don't control it. You never got a policy from your job. They can stop it at any time with this corona situation. They can say, you know what, due to budgeting, we no longer providing life insurance. Then where you at? You're older, you might have some health issues. You know, you're supposed to do those things outside your job, but especially investments. When it comes to investments, right? Most people got on-the-job investments, 401k, 403b, deferred account, thrift savings, and stuff like that. That's not enough. You need something outside your job, and that got nothing to do with that in order to prosper financially. Because you know a whole bunch of people worked on the job, retired, and they had those things, and they struggle in their retirement because it's not going to be enough. Think about it. If the investments on the job was real live investments, you might quit before you retire because you have so much money in there. That makes sense. But one of the biggest things is no business ownership or side hustle. Here's why. In today's economy, everything has gone up in price. Everything has gone up in everything except for incomes. The income has not raised any.
And now they're price gouging. So right now everything is.
So your full-time job is normally just enough to take care of your needs.
Yes.
It's not going to take care of any wants. It's not going to do any extra investment to catch up and do things that you need to do in life, or to start a business. Is not going to do those things. Your job is not enough. So the best thing to do is do what Jim Rohn states is work full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. Go get you a part-time business or some type of side hustle. You got to do something like that to prosper financially. Now, when it comes to, I got some statistics as far as that is concerned as well. What the percentages are when it comes to jobs and businesses. So let's look at that. So they said that, now this is according to Business Insider, okay? You are 4 times more likely to become wealthy if you have a business. 4 times more likely to become wealthy if you have a business for yourself. And I'm not saying leave the safety and security of your full-time job. I'm not saying that at all. But you got to find some way to do something on the side. And most people, and this is how society is set up, all the goodies is on the other side of something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I would love a beach body, but guess what? You know what I mean? I don't want to do it. So, you know what I mean? So even when it comes to getting licenses of what you can do other businesses, you got to go through so many hours of a classroom to get them licenses. You got to do some extra stuff, and people are not willing to put in the extra work. But that extra work is what's going to get you the goodies. So the government and the powers that be know that. So they say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a couple of hoops there. You can get the glory, you can get the extra money, but you got to jump through these hoops first. And the average person going to jump through 1 or 2 hoops, and they say it ain't working.
That's it. Yeah.
And they end up just dealing with their struggle when they just go and jump through the hoops, which is a finite time to deal with the struggle, but you can have the way on the back end dealing with the glory.
So what is your advice to like some people now? If they're listening to us right now and they're saying, you know what, I want to do better this year. I want to do my finances, but I don't have enough. I maybe have $10 or $15 that I can invest. What would you say? You know, maybe less than 50. What would you say to them?
Well, I would say get with me. And what we're going to do is get your financial needs analysis, and we're going to help you create more money for yourself, right? Because most people have the money. Is being squandered with misuse and things of that nature, right? And also not reevaluating the products you already have. So what I would do for someone is this. I would give them a financial needs analysis, see what they're already doing with their money. And then one, with the auto and home, right? What I do, I work with a full service financial marketing firm. We do everything dealing with your money under one roof. So one, I'm gonna take, let's say, your auto and homeowners insurance. I'm gonna shop around and see if I can give you a better deal. Say I can save you between $50 to $300 doing that. All right, we got extra money here. Now let's deal with your life insurance. I probably can give you 2-3 times of coverage for less money. Save you some money there. Boom, let's put that to the side, right? So I'm gonna see what all products that you're already spending your money on and see what we can reduce. So we did that. Then the next thing we're gonna do is trim the fat, right? So I'm gonna say, well, let's write down what you spend your money on a daily basis. Most people don't understand, don't know. So I give people a task. Hey, take this little take this little notebook, right? Little you can fit in your pocket. I need you to write down every dime that you spend every single day, I don't care if it's a nickel, for 30 days. Oftentimes my client called me in less than that, maybe 5 days, and say, oh my God.
I know I was in trouble. I love Starbucks coffee, so I know.
So I'm finna help you out with something, sister. You ready for me to help you out real quick?
I don't know. I have to give it up. Sometimes you don't want to know, so you can keep doing wrong. So I guess I listen.
That was the most honest thing you could have ever said. And most people don't want to be honest with themselves. But how much is your Starbucks coffee?
Oh, I go about 3 times a week. It's about $6.
That's $6, okay? And you say you go 3 times a week?
Yes.
Okay. Do you go multiple times in one day?
No, I don't.
Okay. So if you're doing that 3 times a week, that's $18.
Yes, I know.
And we're going to multiply that by 4 weeks. So that's $72 a month.
Oh, don't tell. Okay. All right. So you're saying I would have to give
now, no, but let's look at it. Let's put it in a financial calculator, okay?
Okay.
So if I take that $72, and again, I mean, mutual funds get more than 9% all the time. I have clients that got 10%, 25%, but we don't talk about 9, right? So if I put that, and if you did that over because most people do that while they're working, they go to Starbucks and lunch and all that stuff. Now, this is just Starbucks. We're not talking about the lunches that you buy,
right?
The breakfast that you buy, the dinners you buy. We're not talking about that yet. Just Starbucks. So $72 a month for your 40-year career while you're working. How much you think you would have cash if you did that? Ballpark figure. It's just $72.
Just 72. That's maybe about 30, 40,000, something like that. Maybe 10 to 20,000. I'm sorry.
342,000.
Stop playing with me. Really?
You're drinking your retirement. You're drinking it.
Wow.
So I go with some other stuff. I say, okay, how often do you buy lunch at work? I buy lunch every day at work. Am I right?
Yeah.
Every single day. And don't let it be payday Friday. I'm getting jumbo shrimp.
You sure are, yeah. For sure.
You know what we do. We got a big lunch on Friday, payday Friday. But an average, how much you think a person spend on lunch average when they spend it when they buy it?
Probably about $10 to $20. That's about
$10 to $20. Let's go low ball, $10. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to my mighty calculator here, okay? So we're going to take the $10, and they're doing this every day. So that's $10 times 5 days a week times 4 weeks. That's $200 a month. So I'm gonna add that with my Starbucks. So it's $272 now.
You're just gonna make me feel worse right now, huh? Just gonna make me. Okay.
No, I'm not going to discuss that. It's going to be 1.2 million. You don't want to hear that. 1.3
Oh,
million.
stop playing. Okay.
You don't want to hear that.
No, actually, no. Yeah, I want to hear, but I don't. I like to be in denial sometimes.
I'm not going to tell you it's going to be 1.2 million.
Wow. Okay. That's good to know, though, because you really don't think like that. Honestly.
Yes. And so now a lot of people say, well, no, the market go up and down. I don't want to invest because I might lose my money. I want to talk about that. And I wish I had a graph to show you, but I think I can explain it well enough. We all seen the investment graphs go up like this, like a mountain, right? Mountain range. So if you look at even when it dip in the future, that dip is higher than the highest peak in the past. So it's going to up and down on the steady incline, okay? Now, when it comes, they say, well, I might lose my money. Well, look, what's in the mutual fund? Mutual funds will have household businesses that you use every day. Tide, Crest, Apple, Microsoft, stuff like Netflix, stuff that you use all the time.
So let me ask you this about mutual funds. Mutual funds versus investing like in an Apple. That's way more riskier than a mutual fund, right? Than an Amazon and
Well, okay, so let me ask you some questions when it comes to that. to understand the difference between mutual fund and bare naked stocks.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with investing in bare naked stocks, but a couple of things that's gonna stop me from getting the best investment that I can as an average consumer. One only has so much money to go around, as you discussed before. Well, most stocks cost $100 to $300 per share.
Right.
I can't afford it. Right.
Unless you're on the ground end when it first opened up, and it might not be as much, but then as it.
But all the stuff that's booming is gone already.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that's maybe on the ground, you don't know about it. You're not gonna know about it until it's
right.
late.
Just true.
No circles.
Yeah.
So so that's one thing. And then is the risk, right? It's all risk, it's good risk and bad risk, right? But when it comes to stock, it's a bare naked stock. So I'm gonna give you two examples so you can help educate yourself on that. So if you go into the Sears Tower, I'm gonna always call it the Sears Tower, forever. I don't care who buys it, okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you go to the 100th floor to the observatory. Elevator A open up, you got one cable. Elevator B open up, you got 500 cables. Which one you getting on?
The 500 cable one.
And why is that?
Because it's more safe. I can't take the chance of too many people get on the one cable, then it drops to the lower level or whatever, we get hurt. So
right.
500.
One pop is over there.
Yeah.
A cable might pop, we still good. 2, 3 might
still
pop,
good.
Still good.
Yes.
That's the difference between having a stock and a mutual fund.
Okay.
A mutual fund is just a basket full of stocks. Okay. And now people say, well, what if something go down? Look, if I have a mutual fund that got Apple and Microsoft in it, if Microsoft go down, everybody gonna buy Apple. If Apple go down, everybody gonna buy Microsoft. Right. You know what I mean? So it's still good. Does it go up and down? Yes. And you want it to go up and down, right? Why? Because we only have so much money to go with. So what I teach my clients to do an investment strategy called dollar cost averaging. So how dollar cost averaging works is this: very simple principles. I'm going to figure out what's the most I can put away for my future. Any financial professional worth the salt will tell you want to do 10, 15, or 20% of your yearly salary to do it. And if you can't, we're going to figure out how much you can do and find ways to get you in. But then when you take that money and invest it on a monthly basis, every month, rain or shine, you're not thinking about the market. You just want to think of your consistency. So what do that mean? So say the share I'm buying, say it's $20 a share, and I'm putting up $100 a month, where I could buy 5 shares that month. If the shares go up to $50 a share, well, I only can buy 2. If it goes to 100, I only can buy 1, but if it goes above 100, I can buy 9. Now, let's talk about the stock going down. Well, if it went down to $10 a share, guess what? I could buy a bunch of them. See, this is the part I teach people about how money works, because we make emotional decisions, not logical ones. There's a principle. When you think of the word principle, that means it's something that works in every situation, never change. Like seed time, harvest time is the principle. It works for everything. Kids, relationships, businesses, actual crops, right? So a principle in investing is called buy low, sell high. You love buy low, sell high in every aspect of your life except for investments. Now, let me ask you this, Tammy. Are you the clothes woman, the shoe woman, the purse woman? Which one are you?
You don't even have to talk about me like that. We were doing good.
Are you all 3?
We don't even, not all the time. I'm pretty good. I shop, like, especially being at home now. I really don't do like I used to, but before, yeah, all of these.
No, but which one you think you would be more keen toward? Purse woman, shoe woman, or the clothes woman?
I'm a clothes person.
A clothes, okay. So say you see a nice, pretty blouse, and that blouse is $100. You say, oh, I love it, it's pretty, but a little too rich for my blood, right?
Right.
You go back to the store the next week, the blouse is $50. You're like, hey, now, I don't know.
Right. Maybe it'll go down again. Yeah.
You wait to go down again.
Yeah.
$25. Now you're like, hey,
I can do that.
4.
Yeah. And still spend $100.
Like that.
Right. Yeah.
Now, so when it comes to stocks, what I teach my clients is when the stock go down, rejoice. You know why? Because the stock is on sale.
Yeah.
It's on sale. You can buy more with your little money. You only got so much. So what most people do is when the stock go down, they sell it. Oh, it's bad. Let me sell it. I'm gonna wait till it go back up again before I start buying it.
Yeah.
What sense do that make? You wouldn't do that no other time. When you went back to that blouse and it was $25, ain't no way in your mind you'll say, you know what? I'm gonna wait till it go back up to 50 or 100 before I buy it.
No, I'm not. No, right.
Same thing with stocks. So my clients, when the stock market go down, they call me pumped up. Hey, John, the stock is down. I got a little bit more money. I got a bonus at work. Can you put this in there before it go back up?
Yeah.
Now you got more stocks to buy to go up, and you're in the game.
All right. Nice. Thank you for that demonstration. I don't know if I wanted to use myself, but I appreciate it. So let's talk about this. This is the big thing that I see all on Facebook, and this PPP loan. What is that all about? You know, what are people doing with it? People, should they have gotten it or should they not? You know, what is the deal?
Well, if you didn't meet the real rules and criteria of whatever the obligation was, you shouldn't have been touching.
Okay.
That's one thing. But have a plan for everything. And that's what prosperity is about. You know, money is a living, breathing thing, and you want to find a nice home, right? So I guarantee you, when you say, you know what, I have a plan for money. When I get money, I'm gonna do this with it, I'm gonna do this with it. Or if I ever come to a loss of my money, I'm gonna do this with it. Money gonna seek you out because you're gonna do the right things with the money. So those people, they didn't have a plan with the money. They spent it on emotional things like we talked about earlier, made them feel better, but it didn't help them any. You know, so I just would, but then also let's go back to why were you so desperate for the loan? Because you wasn't properly prepared financially. See, what I do with my clients is I make sure they're prepared financially for whatever happens, right? We're gonna have some savings. We're gonna have 3 buckets. We're gonna have an emergency fund bucket where you're gonna have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses there, right? Or let's say 6 to 12 months rather, right? Where it's, if I had 6 to 12 months worth of living expenses in my account, meaning whatever I need to live off of monthly, you ain't mad when the Rona came. You're like, I'm good for at least a year. You wasn't scared and panicking, right?
Right.
And then you got a short-term bucket where you might not be able to touch this for 3 to 5 years, right? It's for future spending, planned spending. You might want to put a down payment on the house and put a big one down, 3% instead of 10%, avoid PMI insurance, that for nothing insurance. You might want to start a business. You might want to take your kids to Disneyland, Disney World or something. You can stay on the property instead of 1,000 miles away. You know, you might want to do something big ticket with that money, and then you got your wealth building bucket where you're not going to touch it, you're ready to retire. Because let me ask you this, Tabby, did you know you need 10 to 20 times your salary to retire, Will?
Wow. Okay.
Let me ask you this to prove it. Because that's all I do with my clients. I don't tell them anything. I just ask questions. And when they answer their own question, they come to their own conclusion, they're ready to roll and do something with their finances. So let me ask you this question. I hate to use you as an example, but when you retire, would you like to live better than you live now, the exact same, or worse?
Better. I want to be able to travel.
Says better, right?
Because I want to be able to travel because I'm retired. I want to be able to do things that I couldn't do while I was working. So
there you go. You want to travel down south. I mean, south of the border, not down south of south side of Chicago, right?
Right.
Well, so let's talk about how that money works. So if you want to do better, let's take better off the table. Let's just talk about the same. And for everybody that's listening, I want you to do this. I want you to pull out your financial calculator. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just a regular plain calculator. Pull it out. I'm gonna give you some time. We all got smartphones. So you done put it at about as much time it take me to pull out my phone and put in my code, it's gonna take the same time for you to do it. So I got my phone now. I got my calculator up. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put in your yearly salary in that calculator. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an average income, which is 50,000.
Okay.
Right? Now we talking about to live the same. Now the average retirement, what age is retirement right now? Do you know?
Retirement is what, 67 now? No, 70. That's 70, is it?
But let's use the over 65. When you use 65 or 67.
Okay. 65 is fine.
All right, so let's use the over 65. So now let's talk about the average life expectancy. Let's say you're gonna live to 85.
Right.
So that's 20 years worth of retirement.
Yes.
So if you want to live the same way you live now, you got to take your yearly salary and multiply it by 20 years.
Wow.
Everybody hit that. Take your yearly salary, audience, multiply it by 20. That's how much you're gonna need if you want to live the same exact way. Now, guess what, Tammy? That's today's dollars. Remember we talked about inflation earlier, where it's gonna be more expensive down the road. So today's million, they're gonna be 20 years million. You're gonna need more for inflation, 3% a year. So, but let's just keep it a cool million. So you say, well, how the heck I'm going to get, so 50 grand a year times 20 is a million. So you say, how the heck I'm going to get a million? Or how I'm going to get that number that's on my screen here? I can help you do it, right? I'm going to help you do it through various financial plans and strategies that we have to make sure you can have that happen for you, right? So for example, you take your money, again, you can invest it in the mutual fund, enjoy some compound interest. I'm gonna show you how to trim the fat of what you are already doing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you how to replace some products that you already have with less expensive, probably more quality products, right? We're gonna give you a strategy and a game plan so you can prosper financially. But most people need to bring in more money from another source to make it, because your job is just enough to do what you need to do. Because most people don't start thinking about their retirement till it's too late. 45, 50 days, oh man, I don't have enough. Now you got to play the catch-up game. So oftentimes when I do a financial needs analysis for a family, I got you covered. I got the game plan. But guess what? You're going to need X amount of dollars worth of life insurance, and you might need $1,000 or $1,200 a month to invest to catch up. And most people say $1,200, I'm barely making $1,200 a month, let alone trying to invest and put it away. Well, where are you going to get the extra money from? So you got to go do something extra on the side to get that extra money and invest it.
Very good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, John, I've enjoyed you. I appreciate you being on here. So tell us, how can we reach you? Because this is some good stuff. And I know some people are going to want to find out how to
everybody, I'm going to give everybody a chance to pull out their pens or their notepad or go to your text message right now and put my number in and text me. I want you to text me your name, your phone number, and I want you to put, and I'm gonna give you some special attention if you mention Tammy Doza's name in her podcast, right? I will definitely help you out on that. And then let me know what you're interested in. Again, I help people make extra income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. I teach people how to make money, save money, and get out of debt. So you find out what you want to do, and I will help you do that. But I want you to text that information to this phone number. The number is going to be 773-234-0899. Again, that's 773-234-0899. And again, my name is John Byrd, JOHNBYRD. Say that number in your phone. So when I text you back or get back with you, you know that is who's calling.
All right. So what is the last thing that you want to share with the people? What do you want them to know?
Everybody can prosper financially. Everybody can become wealthy. You right now, listen to the sound of my voice. You can be the champion in your family. You can stop the financial curse in your family. Easy, right? And just like you see sometimes in wealthy families, they have the picture on the mantle. Oh, that's great so-and-so. So I don't know what my great-great-grandfather's name is. You know why I don't know his name? He didn't leave anything. My family gonna know what they're like, there it is, John Byrd. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have all of this. We wouldn't be in this position today. You know what I mean? And so you can be that person. It just take a little financial education, a little financial knowledge, and a little action, financial action to do it. And a lot of people say, I don't have enough money to do it. Please, I can help you do it. And then even with your little money, that means you don't do anything. When you retire, you want to have a couple of $100,000 in retirement than no 100,000.
That's true.
So whatever it is, we're going to help you prosper, and everybody can do it. All the rules are there for set up for the wealthy, and anybody below wealthy can do the same exact rules and prosper financially.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. You have it, Mr. John Byrd. I appreciate you being on my show. Again, my name is Tammy Montgomery Dozier, and thank you for listening to my podcast. Until next time.
I just said Dozier.
Oh, no, it's fine.
It's French. It's fancy.
Yes. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Create a great week. All right.